Okay, guys, so let's start. So, in the last lectures, we saw how to we create the variables. What are the rules for creating the variables? As we know that creation of variables or the variable name in Matlab starts with letter, followed by a letter, underscores, or numbers. Correct, but the variable name should start from letter. Then we also saw that the variables are case sensitive. That's a capital A is different than small a. And then we also saw that we cannot provide very long name of the variables. There is some restrictions which can be found out by max name length variables or name max length, which basically gives us the flexibility to have 63 characters. That's one thing. And then we also saw various operators like plus operator, minus operator, asterisk for multiplication, caret for powering or exponential of the variables, and then colon, semicolon. These are the operators MATLAB uses for its basic calculations. Correct. Today, I hope that you people might have solved these type of expressions which are right now showing on my screens, or many more for practice. I hope that there is no problems to anyone in this case. If you have any questions over these slides that may not have been able to solve these particular assignments, so please let me know. I can take your questions if you have. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So I had a doubt regarding saving, sir. So if we save a workspace and again open it, then only the variables come. And suppose if you want to make any changes in the equation, then how are we supposed to do that?
I hope that you keep these questions for some time. You will get answers of this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything else? To provide the short answers for you, we can save the sessions. We cannot save the commands which we have provided in Matlab. There is another way, but that's coding portions. We will come to that one later. Okay. Is there any other questions? Anyone has any other doubts? So I hope that you understood the creation of variable. Creation of variable is very, very important. Creation of variable is very, very important in MATLAB. Okay. Now, today we can discuss about the importance of parenthesis. I know that you might be aware that importance of parenthesis from mathematics point of view. Or if there is a lot of parentheses in a given equations, then how MATLAB solves it. MATLAB tries to solve first the content of all parentheses. So if you in a equations or in a statement you have provided 10 parentheses, it tries to evaluate all the parentheses content first. Whatever may be the operation, addition, multiplication, divisions, anything, but it evaluates all content of all the parentheses. And second, once he has evaluated all the parentheses, then parentheses will remove. Then secondly, all exponential are evaluated. It works from left to right. Third, all multiplications and divisions are evaluated working again from left to right. Fourth, all addition and subtraction are evaluated starting from left to right. And that is what we should also do when we solve the big equations. using pen and paper. So we everybody learned this Bodoma stands, correct? So everything, every mathematical expressions we try to evaluate using Bodomas, that is bracket, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. This exactly has been taken into considerations in MATLAB also. So what I want you guys to evaluate statements or these equations in MATLAB and this expression. Both these expression I want you to guys evaluate in your MATLAB and see how what are different answers you get. Here, don't put any parenthesis. Here, you exactly code the way it has been and see what you get. So basically, what you are doing, you are putting one parenthesis, one equations with parenthesis, other equations without parenthesis. See whether you get a different answers. Put it in your machine. Then, so see this both these expressions when you code, you might have getting different answers. So what the answer for the first expression?
0.776.
0.77 for the first one. What is the for second one?
10.185.
Yeah. So see, expression is same, numbers are same, but in the second we didn't put the parenthesis. So according to Bodmas, it has first might have evaluated this exponential. There is no parenthesis to these exponentials, and then divisions and multiplications, and then additions. Whereas in this expressions, if you put a parenthesis, it have evaluated this first. 2 plus 3 square, which is 9 plus 11. So 1 by 11 plus 4 by 5 multiplied by 6 by 7. Here, what happens? 3 raised to power 2, which is 9, has been evaluated first. And then this multiplications and then addition. So sequence has been changed while evaluation. So it's extremely important to put the parenthesis at the appropriate place. Whenever you are evaluating the big statements or big equations, you should be very careful where to put the parentheses. Correct? So parentheses are very important. Uh, Second thing I wanted to tell you that now if you observe your screen of MATLAB, there might be a chance that you are seeing only 4 digits after the decimal. Correct? The case is that MATLAB calculates 15 digit after the decimal. Total is 16 digit. 15 digit after the decimal, that's confirmation. Okay. Now it displays only 4 digit, but whenever it stores the data, it has all its 15 digits. And now what happens if you see answers of all these variables which you created, and if it's showing 16 digits, your screen gets flimsy. It just doesn't look nice. So, and that's a one way formatting it come into pictures. Other reasons might be people wanted to see it in a different way. So there are some formatting MATLAB has provided. For example, if you type format short, so it's a scale fixed point format with 5 digits, the total 5 digits like this. If you type format long, it has 15-digit complete. This short e, which is e raised to power something. Look at this, e raised to power 0. This is the called as e raised to power 0, which is basically 10 raised to power 0. 10 raised to power 0 is 1 and this multiplication. Correct. Long e, then short g, floating points, and long g. This is same as short e and long e. Correct. So we will see this display on MATLAB itself. So I can format space as a short. Short is a command. So it has been formatted short. Now look at the pi value. So it's a 3.1416. Now if I say format long, so I'm formatting it as a long, and then again I wanted to see the value of pi. It's a long value. Correct. Then you can say format short e. Okay, and then again if you type pi, looks e raised to power 0. Look at this. I wanted your attention toward this, e raised to power 0. In a similar way, if I say format long e and then I type pi, look at this. This can be read as e raised to power 0 or 10 raised to power 0. Correct. So the format, by formatting, you can say that the desktop or the screen looks nice of your MATLAB. And also, when you don't want to display the long answers, you just work with the short answers too. There are some variables. See, many people might have feeling these lectures, I mean, 2 or 3 lectures consider this very basic. But what I want you to pay the attention toward this. If you understood this basic, then and then only you will able to do the rest coming things, for loop or some writing the codes, all these things. If you have mistakes here, it's very difficult to understand that. So the MATLAB has some special variables and constants which MATLAB uses for themselves. So ANS we saw is the most recent answer. EPS is the accuracy of floating point precision. So basically, when the optimizations, you just wanted to give some epsilons or some error criteria so that EPS minus for minus 6 is the value I think for default. I and J is the imaginary units. INF we saw, NAN we saw, pi we saw. There are some special variables MATLAB's reserved for itself. If you wanted to find out exponential or logarithmic functions, exp is the command for exponentials, log is the command for natural logarithm, log to the base 10 is the command for common base, sqrt is the command for square roots. Correct. Yeah, there was a questions in some of the lectures that what is the use of CLC and clear all. So these are some commands which basically useful for managing the sessions. So CLC is a command which basically wipes out your command window, which cleans your command window. CLC. Clear is a command which removes your variable from the workspace. So if you say clear space all, it will wipe out all the variables from your workspace. Or if you say clear X, it will just wipe out X. Exist basically checks the existence of variable or file. So exist is useful when you are writing a very big code and you don't know which variables you already used up to the this point of code. So you run the code up to that point, all variables will get created into your workspace and see, use the exist command. So it will tell you that the particular variable name which you are intended to use now has been used already or not. Help and look for. These are a very, very important command. Help and look for. If you mastered over the help and look for these two commands, I will say that you learned MATLAB very well. So you need not to go further and study the MATLAB. So a simple thing is that you just understand what is how to use the help and look for help searches for a help topic and look for such as help entries for a keyword. I will show you. Quit is the stops MATLAB. Who we know that who and whose are the same commands, similar use as we can use in doc file. Okay. So here I wanted to show you help and look for. Now let's first say the look for. So you are intended to find out the inverse of the matrix, correct? So you have a matrix and you wanted to find out inverse in MATLAB, but you don't know which command is useful for finding the inverse, but you know what you want to do, correct? So the simple thing, you don't know the path of walking, but you know where to go, correct? So you know what to do. That is what you wanted to find out the inverse of a matrix, but how that you don't know. So what do? Use look for command in that sense. So I'm going to show you how to use the look for command. So this is for the syntax look for. I given the space look for. Then I know what to do. I wanted to find out inverse. Type inverse and enters. This is a slow command. It will take a little bit time to give the answers or what you are looking for. So just wait. Meanwhile, you also entered this type of command on your machines and hit the button enter. Okay, so it got popped up various things. Now see, let's go on top and see what it has been popped up. So when we type look for inverse, it popped up IIFT, IIFFT2, IFFTN, IFFT shift, a cos D. And here you will find out that the descriptions, a one-liner description of this particular command. These are all commands. So let's look at IFFT. It's the inverse discrete Fourier transform. We are intended to find out the inverse of a matrix, and this IFFT command finds inverse discrete Fourier transform. So this is not useful for us, correct? Let's look at this ACOT. It's an inverse cotangent result in a radian. We are not definitely looking for this. So these are the commands which is not useful for us. Come down, look at this INV command. Look at this INV command. It's a matrix inverse. This is what we are looking for. So now we found out the command for finding the inverse. Correct? INV. Now we know what to do, we know how to do. Now we have to do it. So for example, now I wanted to find out the inverse. I know the command inv, but how to use it, that I don't know. For that, help is useful. So I'm going to show you how to use the help. So I put help and now I know the command inv. So you type inv and hit the button, enter. So help inv. Okay. Now look at this. It gives me description of that command. Inv is the matrix inverse inv of x. The parenthesis I will read as of inv of x is the inverse of the square matrix x. Correct? So now if you know what to do, you can just go for look for that particular keywords. And once you find out the command which is you think can be useful for us, just to help that commands, you will get to know how to use it. Correct? So for examples, I know sailing is the command. So I can say help sail. This is the commands. So it says that sail round towards plus infinity. Sailing, not flow. Cell of x, round the element of x to the nearest integer toward infinity. So in this page, I can find out the commands, various commands available in Matlab as well as it's how to use those commands. Now, someone might ask that there are n numbers of tasks we do in mathematics. Do we need to remember all these commands? The answer is not. In case of Matlab, need not to be. The persons who started using Matlab might find it difficult to remember all these commands. Once you started using, you need not to remember those commands, but it automatically comes in your mind when you had a task at your hand. Okay, so there are certain commands which MATLAB's provided, basic commands like ABS is the absolute value of a real number or a magnitude of a complex number. Sailing functions, floor, fix, mod, rain, rad, round, sine, sqrt. These are the basic commands. Now, do I remember it? No. Then how do I find out it? Two way. One, I can go for look for a particular task, or I can have another options, that is help el function, that's the elementary functions. So if you do help el fun is a continue word, now it pops up all the elementary commands available in MATLAB, and then you can have help to that commands. Trigonometric, your sine d, sine h, a sine a, sine d, so and so forth. Your exponential, your complex, your rounding. So these are the basic commands. You can just write help fix. You will get how to use fix, or you can just click on this. You will get how to use this. So for example, fix of 0.9. Correct. So this way we can have various commands from MATLAB. Now, what I want you to do one simple assignments. Let's say you are measuring the temperatures of a rod. Rod is 10 meter in length. At every meter, you have one thermocouple. Correct? So assign the variables for storing the temperatures of those thermocouples. So you create the variables, 10 variables, and then you find out the average of those 10 variables. You find out the maximum from that 10 variables, and you find out the minimum of that 10 variables. Okay, so you do it. I will ask you after 5 minutes. I can provide, no, not 5 minutes, 3 minutes. I will provide you 3 minutes and then I will ask someone to share his or her screen. You understand? Create 10 variables of measuring the temperature of a rod at a location starting from 1 to 10. Okay. Then once you created those variables, use that variable for finding out average temperature of the rod, maximum temperature of the rod, and minimum temperature of the rod. So those who don't know the command for average, we can take the help of look for, and those who don't know command for max and minimum can also do the same thing. Okay, now let's see some of these guys. Srivastava, can you share your screen, man? Viral Srivastava. Viral Srivastava. Sure. What's the problem, Aviral? Okay. Maniraj. Maniraj. Can you share your screen, Maniraj?
One minute, sir.
Yeah. What happened, Maniraj? This much of time is required for sharing the screen. Hello. Rishikesh. Can you share the screen, Rishikesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No. I didn't want to create the matrices or something. I want you people to create the variables name separately, like temp1, temp2, temp3, temp4, all these things.
So 10 variables separate.
10 variables. This is what
T1, T2, T3, like that.
anything. This is what practice we are doing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody create the variables and then do the average manually. Right there, temp T1 plus T2 plus T3, or you can use as an average command. See, many of you might be knowing various stuffs of Matlab. Let's go step by step. Man, this is temperature. Okay. So, is there anyone has any problems up till now what we have explained or discussed? I hope that you people don't have any problem up till now. So here I am going to stop. We will meet in the coming Monday, I think. Okay. Thanks.